Make terror the order of the day.
And with that short but weighty phrase, Robespierre put himself at a paradox. For the rights of man that he had developed he also rendered invalid, and a martial law was now the nature of Paris. The leaders of the time, who proclaimed themselves the Committee of Public Safety, rose to power, and Robespierre stood proudly at their head. Terror, meant to root out counter-revolutionaries, pointed first at the Christian Church, and soon the religion that was once worshipped was condemned to its inevitable death. But Robespierre was not an advocate of atheism. He found in the stead of Christianity a new religion, one that revered Murat, the deceased radical revolutionary, as the saint of France. The French were thorough, even replacing the Christian calendar with a new one that marked the beginning of time as the day that the monarchy was overthrown. But one major symbol of the old regime remained. Marie Antoinette, the queen who was rumored to have replied to the poverty of her people, let them have cake. But the revolution and ridicule had changed her, and when she stepped onto trial, she was little more than a frail old woman. Still, on October 16, 1793, she was mercilessly guillotined. It was now the business of the French to weed out the final traces of the old, the counter-revolutionaries, and in the coldest, cruelest ways they were sought, captured, unjustly tried, and brought before the guillotine for treason. So said one radical. Chase them back to their caves, these despicable people who disturb the sectional assemblies and who delay your departure for the front. If you wait even a few days more, it will be too late. Drop them with stones, and you will save the fatherland if you can escape them. You must do it, no matter what. The Vendée, a region of France that became a sort of center for counter-revolutionaries, naturally became a target. And, in the Vendée revolt alone, 100,000 died, tied together and pushed off boats to drown. Now, December of 1973, fear repressed the French people into obedience. Finally, things were getting better, and on the front, a brilliant military hero, Napoleon Bonaparte, was leading the French to victory. It was around this time that a section of the Committee of Public Safety, led by Danton, advocated that the terror had finally served its purpose and must come to an immediate halt. But Robespierre had other plans. He planned to use his power for even a larger dream, his utopian society, a republic of virtue. Virtue, without which terror is murderous, and terror, without which virtue is powerless. Terror is nothing than swift, severe, indomitable justice, and it flows then from virtue. For Robespierre, disagreement was treason, and on April 5, 1794, Danton and his followers were executed. As Danton stepped onto the guillotine, his final words rang out. "My only regret is that I'm going before that rat, Robespierre." The situation only worsened. On June 10, 1794, the law of the 22nd Prairial accelerated the speed at which the convicted could be sentenced. 2/3 of the total executions of terror occurred after this date. But one day that June, there was a strange silence to the guillotine. Robespierre, clad in godly attire, stood atop a papier-mâché mountain at the center of town. It was his new festival, the festival of the Supreme Being, and the beginning of his unraveling. June 27th, Robespierre comes in with a new list of traitors. Suspicion and fear seizes the courts, and when Robespierre comes to give the list the next day, fingers are pointed at him. Struck with shock, he is bound and locked into his office to be imprisoned. After a failed attempt at suicide, Robespierre is taken to the guillotine, weak and humiliated, and on July 27th, 1794, his blood ends the sanguinary lust of the terror.